Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the Sunday show with Brantley and Marc. We are your hosts. We're here to answer your questions. Welcome, everybody. Got a lot of you in here already today. Big shout out and thank you to our moderators, Tammy and Susan. I know Dave from Gamble the Globe is traveling to Las Vegas right now, so not sure if he will be able to pop in. But anyway, guys, before we really start diving into the question and answers, we've got just a couple of quick things to cover with you today. The first off is our contest is still going on. It goes until January 22nd. All you have to do is share the video, our top 50 casino and slot myths video. Share that video, comment shared on that video, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Once you've done all those three things, you're automatically entered for our giveaway. First prize is going to be a $300 Boot Barn gift card, a signed t-shirt, and a whole bunch of swag for the channel. Second prize is going to be a $50 Boot Barn gift card, a signed t-shirt, and some swag. And then finally, the last prize, we're giving away three prizes in this giveaway. The last prize is going to be a signed t-shirt. So make sure, share that video. There's three chances to win. So best of luck to everybody. That runs until January 22nd, and we will pull the winner from our live stream on that day. Always make sure to be cautious. Obviously, since we are doing this giveaway, be cautious. Make sure that we never give away prizes in the comments, guys. So there are a lot of catfishing profiles out there. So if somebody ever comments on anything saying that you want a prize, that is not us. So please do report that comment, and just be mindful. If you see anything suspicious, make sure to flag it and let us know. I know our moderators do a great job taking care of all of that. So thank you to you guys. Second thing that I want to mention too is this Friday, we have a new video coming out for those of you in states with historic horse racing. HHR is finally coming to the channel. That will be coming out this Friday, so be watching for that video. Make sure, everybody, if you're watching this and you have not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell to stay notified for when we do come out with those videos. We're almost to 100,000 subscribers. We are now less than 2,000 people away from 100,000 subscribers, so we are almost there. So be sure, help us out, subscribe to the channel, share your favorite videos. We will be at 100,000 before the end of the month, so we are super excited about that. That is a big milestone. And the last thing, before we dive into our question and answers, which will be open here shortly, the Vegas trip, I am still going to make it down to Vegas this week. However, because, getting stuck and all of that, plans got moved around. Everything kind of got shifted. So I will still be coming to Vegas. However, I'm not going to stay there too long, but we do have a little meetup planned for you guys, which is going to take place on my birthday, which is Tuesday, January 10th. And Marc is going to talk about that meetup in Vegas on the 10th. Marc?
Awesome. So I know this is last minute, guys, but a lot of you happen to be there next week, and you got some locals too. But we are going to hit up MGM Grand and play the Cherries Jubilee. We talk about that machine a lot on this channel. At 6 p.m. on Tuesday, Vegas time, we will be at the Cherries Jubilee at MGM Grand. If you don't know where it is, it's right outside of the high limit room, unless they've moved it since last time. We talked last time about having them moving machines constantly at MGM Grand. But if you can't find it, just ask the slot attendant or something to point you in the right direction. But we're going to be over there playing those. They're dollar denomination. We'd love you to come and join in the fun and play with us. Those machines are the best to hit the top jackpot, which is around $1,000. And I think somebody will probably hit it while we're there playing those. And so we want to invite you guys to come check us out. We'll be there for about an hour or so, and we'd love to see you. So come on down. Tuesday, 6 p.m., Las Vegas, MGM Grand, the Cherries Jubilees. There's about 8 or so of those machines, so it should be plenty to go around. So hope to see you guys there. And I will be there for the entire week, coming back, I think, on Friday morning. So if any of you guys are there for the entire week, I may run into you, but no meetups or anything planned. So we really want to try to focus on Tuesday being the meetup for Brantley and I, as well as David. Gamble the Globe's going to be there, and who knows? I think Let's Go Hampe, Sheldon's going to be there also. So if you want to come meet us and say hi and play some Cherries Jubilee, it's one of our favorites.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we look forward to seeing each and every one of you out there. If you are in the Las Vegas area, 6 p.m. Cherries Jubilee, MGM Grand on January 10th, which is my birthday. So come on out and say hi to us. Anyway, guys, that's it for the opening topic, so we can dive into some Q&A. So feel free to start asking us your questions, and we will go ahead and we will start answering those. Notice a lot of members are here today, so thank you to all of our members of the channel. As a reminder, members do get a bonus live stream on our channel each and every Monday. And then also we do another live stream on Wednesday nights. So if you're unable to make this one, you can also come out on Wednesday nights. So let's see, we've got some questions stacked up here already. Here's one from James. James, welcome to the show. Have you read the fine print? LOL, I played the dollar easy money and didn't bet max. I got the easy money symbols, but no offers. Played it at 3 and won 50 credits times 2 and times 2 again, $200. That's a pretty good hit for a $3 bet. But yes, it is always very, very important to always read those game rules and read those fine print. That's one of the things that we teach the most on this channel. There's a lot of information in those game rules and in that fine print. You want to make sure that you're always understanding the game that you're playing. That is a really, really big thing.
Don't feel bad, James. I think every visit that we've had to a casino that has a top dollar, we've seen the same thing. We've seen somebody get the bonus symbol and they look up and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad, but yeah, read the game rules. You want to bet to, especially with games that have a bonus round, you're playing for the bonus round. So you want to make sure you're getting that correct bet in so that you get credit for that win and get the bonus.
Exactly.
And shout out to YouTube user, very generic name, but I love it. I'm new here and excited.
Welcome.
Welcome very much. Glad you were able to make it, guys. And Ryan says, hey, Mark, where can we find you Thursday evening or Friday? I'll be at the MGM Grand. I don't know what I'll be doing Thursday evening. But if you do run into me, I hope I see you.
Absolutely. Question here from Rob. Rob, welcome to the show. When you say that there is a pick a bonus feature is usually random, but in some games it's not random, how can you tell what games are not random? Very good question. So, most slot machine games with pick bonuses are going to be predetermined. That's just how they are nowadays. The general rule is still the same of if you get into a pick feature, if it shows you at the end of the bonus round, typically that means it's not predetermined. However, there are some games out there. We did a review recently on Hot Stuff Wicked Wheel by Every. That game, it does show you at the end, but it is predetermined. We confirmed that with some folks that we had reached out to. We did confirm that bonus is a predetermined bonus. That's really the only one that I know of that is different so far, but obviously games change over time. Most newer games, it's going to be predetermined. The game that I can tell you right now that is not predetermined and that you do have full control over is the quick hits games. There might be more. Mark, do you know of any more other than quick hits?
Not off the top of my head, but that's probably the most famous one.
Yeah. So good question, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hope we were able to help out a little bit.
And Laura has a good question here. What website do I go to research state tribal gaming regulations? So the first place is you can go to ropethejackpot.com, and we will let you know if you can look by state, and we will let you know if it is a Class 2 or Class 3 facility. That will tell you a lot about the types of games that you're playing, whether they're actual slot machines or playing bingo, that type of thing. But you can also probably just Google is always your friend with stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you research the tribe name, and then gaming regulations, you should be able to find whatever you're looking for there. Every tribe is different. Every tribe has different gaming regs. So you want to make sure that you're doing the research on the right one because they're not all equal. Definitely not.
Correct. We do have, I want to acknowledge this comment here from Linda K. Just donated $50 via debit card. Linda, thank you very much for that. We really do appreciate it. And yes, guys, too, aside from super chats and super stickers on YouTube, we do offer on our website, again, it's ropethejackpot.com. We put that up on the screen where you guys can donate to the channel through ropethejackpot.com, and we get 100% of that. YouTube does not take a portion. So if you do want to make any kind of donations to the channel, you are more than welcome to. We always appreciate it. It always helps us out. So that is available at ropethejackpot.com. So we thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. Thank you.
And Leo has a good question here. What is the best slot for low budget? So Probably, I mean, the one thing you want to still try to stay away from if you can is the penny machines, mostly because they are very high in volatility, and it's not something that you're going to be able to extend your bankroll on for very long. If you can, and it's becoming more and more of a challenge, especially with some of the bigger casinos in Las Vegas and stuff, to find those old classic 3 reels that are in 25 cents or 10 cents or even lower. Last time I was at New York, they still have a bank of nickel machines. So if you like playing triple stars and 10 times pay and all that, they still have nickel machines there that you can play very low amounts and still have a lot of fun. So if you do have a low budget, that's great. That's good. I'm glad you're sticking with your budget. But try to stay away from the penny machines. We talk about that a lot here, but they're disguised as penny machines, but really you're betting way more than a penny. You typically have to bet at least 80 cents, but sometimes up to $5 or even $10. And so it's no longer a penny machine, right? So right. Try to stick with those low, the classic reels. Look for the low denomination ones. Call around if you're going to a place that has a bunch of casinos. Call around to the casinos, ask to talk to the slot director or somebody that can tell you what machines they have, and say, I'm looking for 3-reel machines, the old ones that are 25 cents or lower. Do you have them? And they'll tell you.
Yeah.
But good luck out there, Leo.
Yes, best of luck to you, Leo. I'll go ahead and take 2 here. One from Nancy. When will you all come to Hard Rock in Tulsa? Don't have any plans to come there right now, but travel is something we're probably going to be getting into a lot more of this year. Again, our website is a fantastic tool for everything. We do keep the website up to date on everything that we do, including travel and events. So again, you can always go to, I'll put it back up here, eropethejackpot.com, and keep track of all of our travel and where we're going to be. No plans for Hard Rock in Tulsa yet, but we will for sure let you know. Anytime that we do have a trip coming up, we always make sure to let you guys know where we're going to be at. So hopefully that'll come in the future later this year. So thank you, Nancy, for your question. And then I'll take another one here from TW. Any casinos accepting crypto? At the moment, none that I know of. There are some casinos out there. I know the station casinos are really experimenting with cashless right now. There might be a way to implement crypto, but I'm not sure. I can't speak on that for 100%. I'm pretty sure, the thing about the casino industry is that if you have money anywhere, the casino will try to help you get it. They will try to help you get it. You could come in and you could say, "Hey, I have a structured annuity from a passed away grandparent, and it's locked away somewhere," and they will try to call anybody and everybody as a resource to try to get it out for you. It's possible. That might be something you can always ask the finance department at any casino. Most casinos, especially bigger casinos, typically will have like casino credit or casino credit departments. I know not a lot of casinos do, but a lot of the bigger ones do. MGM does, Caesars does, Venetian does. They have a casino credit office. You could always ask them. I'm pretty sure there's probably a way the casino can pull that off. But as for openly accepting crypto, I don't know of any off the top of my head. But very good question, TW, and thank you for joining the chat today.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, and YouTube user is Marilyn. Marilyn, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. And I'll go down to a question here. And Rock says, do you recommend playing online slots for those of us not close to a casino? As long as you're playing at a licensed facility, or not really a facility, but an online entity. Let me put it that way. So if it's run by MGM or Caesars or something like that, FanDuel, I think, has one. Those are legitimate casinos that the laws have been passed in the state to allow you to play online. Now, for the rest of us, you may run into something called sweepstakes, which are like the Chumba Casino, and there's a lot of others out there. Those are a little iffy, and we do not recommend playing on those on this channel because they are not regulated the same way that other online casinos are regulated. And that the regulation is the protection for you, and it's very important that you have protection when you're gambling money. We do not know what they are up to when it comes to auditing random number generators or whatever the case is. And we also don't know what they're being audited for, paying users and things like that. We don't know that. And so that's a very scary environment, and we don't like to recommend that. I understand it really sucks sometimes to be out in the middle of nowhere where there's no casinos to play, and that's where they try to advertise the most to get you to come play because they know that. But be very cautious. I always say if you go to an online place and you are questioning whether it's legitimate or not, if they accept credit card as a payment, it's not legitimate.
Right.
No licensed casino is going to allow a credit card to be used unless it's for a cash advance or something like that. But you try to stay away from those if you can. We do not recommend those.
Just be very careful, guys. And I'm sure that's going to change over time. I mean, obviously, right now we're in first week of January 2023. I'm sure 10 years from now, online casinos are going to be regulated completely different, and there will probably be a lot of new laws and stuff like that. So as of right now, we don't recommend any online casinos. I'm going to take two here really quick. First of all, we do have a $5 super chat from Kevin. Kevin, thank you very much. Those super chats and super stickers are greatly helpful to our channel, so thank you so much. Kevin asks, who controls the palms, Nevada Gaming or Indian Tribe? Very good question. So obviously Nevada Gaming is going to control the casino. They're owned. Now the Palms is owned by an Indian tribe, but they do not fall under any kind of Indian gaming regulations. They all follow Nevada's gaming regulations. So that is who they follow there. So I hope that is able to help clear that up for you. So even though they're Indian owned, if they're in Las Vegas, they're controlled by Nevada Gaming, and Nevada Gaming does a very good job of regulating all gambling devices in the state. So very good question. And thank you again for that super chat. And I'll take another one here from Amy. Do you guys ever go downtown Vegas? And if you do, which casino do you play at? So funny that you mentioned that, Amy. That is on our list. That's actually the number one thing that we're going to be doing in Vegas this trip is we are going to be spending a lot of time down on Fremont Street. And we are going to be checking it out, seeing what's changed. Obviously, Fremont Street has been changing a lot lately. So we're going to check out some of the casinos down there. We're going to have some really exciting videos for you. And actually, not only that, but this is a good time. If you guys have not clicked the bell to stay notified, now is the best time to do it, because Mark and I were talking before the show today, and we're going to probably be doing some surprise live pop-ups. Those will not be scheduled in advance. We'll just pop on live at random points. So this week is going to be kind of important for that. So if you haven't hit the bell to stay notified, be sure that you do that. It's 100% free. And that way you'll get notified if we do go live or when we do go live this week. And chances are it will probably be from downtown. So stay tuned, Amy. And thank you for your question.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. And Kevin says, pretty sure Jackpot Party is not predetermined. You are correct. That is another one. And I'm trying to think, there's another, not the Cleopatra, Red Wolf. I see you saying the Cleopatra. That one is also when you're picking the three to figure out what your free games is going to be. That one's not predetermined. But there's another one, and it's an Egyptian theme, and I can't think of the name of it for some reason, but you pick from a bunch of stuff, and you keep picking until it says begin free spins. That one, it flips everything over, and so you also are in control of that. So there's quite a few of them out there now. Now let's start to think about it more than just quick hits. But all right, and V for Vin Diesel says, how does the accounting work for linked machines? Like a group of 4 dancing drums, does it split the payout of shared major grand jackpots between all that is linked? So those are basically local area progressives, which mean that progressives are shared amongst a bank of machines. Sometimes they're together, sometimes they're on the other side of the casino, but they are basically shared. The accounting basically is still individual on the machines. It's just whenever the progressive hits, it's going to be fed into that machine's accounting. But again, please remember that just because machine number 1 is the one that hit the progressive does not mean that it suddenly goes on the take. It's not going to change its programming because it was the one that hit the progressive. So that's the important thing you remember. When we talk about accounting is simply the coin in and coin out that is being reported back to the house so they know how a machine is performing. It is not reported to the logic unit of the machine to say, you need to start taking in more money because you just paid that progressive. That is not how slot machines work. They're not allowed to work that way. So just try to keep that in mind. If you did see a progressive just hit on a machine, it's not a machine to completely avoid. It would be a machine that you probably wouldn't play because the progressive just hit. You want to hit the other ones that have a higher progressive amount. But just try to keep that in mind as you're looking at those. That's actually what's going on with those machines. Good question.
Exactly. Speaking of progressives, Mark, the Enforcer must hit by progressive at the Rose hit last night.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yes, it did.
Do you remember what the number was? Just curious.
I believe it was pretty low. I want to say it was around 93.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
it can happen.
So it can happen. It can happen even at low numbers, guys. We do have a $9.99 super sticker from JW. JW, thank you very much for your super sticker and for your membership. We really do appreciate that. And then also, I had another question pulled up here, but I lost it. Guys, we do have a lot of questions already backed up. We're going to do our best to try to get through them, but just as a reminder, we do offer 2 different live streams a week. We have this Sunday show, and then we also have our Wednesday night show. So if we are unable to answer your question in this show, not to worry. We do offer 2 live streams a week. And if you are just now joining us, because we do have 286 of you in here right now, we will be in Vegas next week. I will be going down there. And I will be joining Mark, probably not for too long, but we do have a Vegas meetup. It's going to happen on Tuesday the 10th, which is my birthday, 6 p.m. at MGM Grand at the Cherries Jubilee machines. So if you are around the area and would like to stop in and meet us, come by and say hi. Absolutely. And a question here from John R. in New York. Any feedback on the volatility of double gold and double gold, similar to double diamonds? I personally do not like double gold. The reason being, the reason being, and again, with this machine, this is one of those, we talked about this in, I forget which, in our volatility video. It has the purple background, our video all about volatility. This is one of those games that's kind of confusing because outwardly it does look very simple. If you follow all of the rules that we've taught you about looking at pay tables and stuff, it is very simple and straightforward. However, reading the pay table is important. If you notice, there's a lot of symbols on there that say double or triple on top of it. And that really adds to the volatility. When you have more symbols that are, doubling and more symbols that do things, or, in the case of double gold, if any symbol lands on the line, you get paid. That is also a feature. So that volatility is going to be quite a bit higher than regular double diamond. Even though the name kind of sounds familiar, it is going to be much higher. So I hope that helps to answer your question. Thank you very much for that.
Yep, and I'll take 2 real quick.
Go ahead.
Michael Robinson says, when you have one of those must-hit buy games that says the minor or major can be won on any bet, but doesn't show where the must-hit buy is at, is that true must-hit buy? No, if it does not say anywhere on the glass or on the screen that it's a must-hit by a certain number, or in the older games, it might be in the game rules of what that must-hit by number. If it does not say that, it is not a must-hit by machine. And then the next one, Last Cowboy, just recently subscribed and have watched many of your shows already. Awesome. I feel like I'm cheating. Does player card have to be inserted prior to deposit in order to receive the reward credit? So it's not on the way that points accrue on a player's card is not about the money that you put in. It's the amount of money that you're wagering. So at the time that you hit the button or pull the handle, that is when it records how much coin in that you had and how much it was for. Same thing when you cash out, it'll do it then too. But it's not when you're actually putting in the money, because you can put in $100 bill and then cash out. You're not getting any points for that. It's what your active play is. That's what's important.
Exactly. And I'm going to take 2 here really quick. First, we have a $4.99 super chat from Jack with an E. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. How are lucky chance spins when remaining credits are less than your current bet programmed? Are they truly random, or do they also follow a percentage? Good question. So in order to get the lucky chance, it depends on how many credits you have left. Obviously, if you're betting $25 and you have $1 left, your chances of winning that lucky chance spin are much lower. But if you are betting $25 and you only have $20 in there, your chances are much greater. So the chance will improve the more credits you still have in the machine for that lucky chance. When the lucky chance is initiated, it's treated just like any other spin. it's not programmed any differently. So you have the exact same chance on that spin as you would any other spin, so to speak. So I hope that helps to answer your question. Some machines will have like a little pie graph or something, and you'll notice, with the spinner that goes around, either it's a big green area or a small green area. That really all depends on how many credits you have left in the machine in order to achieve that. But for the actual spin itself, it's treated just like a normal spin. So very good question. And question here from let me see here, from that was a response. I clicked on the wrong one. Let me see. I had a question pulled up. Sorry about that, Roy. Let me try to find it here while I'm looking for it. We do have a lot of questions backed up, guys, so we apologize. Like I said, the program that we use kind of a lot of times will jumble the questions all together, so it makes it a little difficult to find.
I could take a couple, Brantley.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark, while I look
I
look for this one.
So XDGen Gambler says, do you think the buy bonus slots will become a trend? What do you think of these slots? Well, we personally both don't like these. They have been trying these actually for about 10 years. I've seen them come and go. They are not very popular, and I don't think the trend is going to continue. You will still see them here and there, but it's not going to take over the casino like Lightning Link and spin and hold feature does. I don't think people have a good experience on those overall, and people talk. And then C3 guy has a question, and we kind of covered this on the last show, but can you and your wife share a player's card at the same time? She doesn't play much, so never builds any real comps. Yes, in most players' clubs, and it really depends on the type of players' club, you can combine your spouse with your account and still accrue the same tier status and things like that. So if you are going in as a couple, very important that you have those linked, because you can actually get to the upper tier statuses a lot quicker. Two people gambling at once is a lot better than just one person when it comes to tier credits. So yes, definitely combine.
Very good. And then I have that question pulled up here. If slot pays are based on RNGs, why do slots all get loose during primetime evenings, especially on weekends? Doesn't sound so random. So here's the thing, guys. It really is all human perception on this. Slot machines do not get loose. They don't get loosened or tightened based on any kind of time of day or day of the week or holiday or weekend or event or all of that. So look at what happens at a casino on the weekends and in the evenings. What's the first thing that happens at those casinos? So during the weekends and the evenings, that is the busiest time for the casinos. If you have a bank of, if a casino has 1,500 machines, and let's say Monday morning goes in and there's only like 20 machines being played, are you going to see a lot of jackpots? Probably not. But if you go in on a busy time, when an evening or a weekend, and you've got all 1,500 machines are occupied and there's lines of people waiting to play it, you're probably going to see a lot more, just because there is a high head count of people. Those machines are spinning a lot more. Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that the machines are tighter or looser or anything like that. There's simply more people playing in the building, and that's what you're going to observe. The other thing I would point out is primarily people go to the casinos during weekends or evenings when they're not working. The thing is majority of people are not in a casino 24/7. You don't go to the casino every single day. You don't go to the casino in the mornings. You don't go to the casino, whatever the case may be. As somebody who has worked in the casino before, and I've worked all shifts in the casino, I've worked mornings, I've worked weekends, holidays, everything like that. The number of jackpots is relatively consistent. It's consistent across the board. Jackpots can happen at any time. You guys as players don't see that because you're not in the building 24/7, 365. So you can only see what you observe. And if you're only there for, and again, it's perspective. If you're only there for a short amount of time, a brief window, a brief visit, then that's all you're going to see is what you see during that visit. So it has nothing to do with the programming of the slot machines. Slot machines are not programmed differently on weekends or time of days or holidays or anything like that. That is all completely a myth. Anybody that works in the casino can tell you that. That's just not how the slot machines work. So again, think of your perspective. If you go in and it's super busy and it's packed and every single machine in the house is spinning, of course somebody's going to get a jackpot. It's just natural going to happen because there's more machines being played and the building is more occupied. So I hope that helps to explain that. So good question.
Yeah, very good. And just to build on that just a little bit more, I mean, Brantley, you nailed it. um, is it's all about limited sample size. If you were the kind of person that, let's say you have noticed it personally happening to you, that for some reason when you go, on a Tuesday night, you seem to always win, but if you go any other night, you don't. That is still a very limited sample size. Slot machines are programmed in very long terms, 10 million spins or so. And so there's nothing that you can do in the short term to figure out what is going on. I know it's hard to believe, but slot machines cannot be manipulated that way. They don't build them that way. That's not the way the programming works. So you may think that you're finding some kind of pattern, but because of the limited sample size, it's just coincidence that you're experiencing. And so if you do it enough times, you will notice that suddenly on that Tuesday night, you don't seem to be winning anymore. It's not because they changed anything. It's just the coincidence caught up with you. Right. So we just want you guys to have the right information when you're going in, because you can make some bad judgment calls on slot machines. If you think that certain days or certain times or something like that are better times to go, you may risk more than you planned on risking because of that. And we don't want you to do that. We don't want you to fall into that trap. All right. And IXG Runtle XL says, who can ask at a casino who would know which games they have? I've been trying to find casinos with must hit by progressives. So first, check their website. A lot of casinos are now starting to put their actual floor plans on the website. I know WinStar, the big casino in Oklahoma, does this now. I've seen some others. I think Caesars actually has a website called slotfinder.com, I think it is. Where you can actually look this kind of information up. If not, when you call them, ask for a slot manager or a slot supervisor. They will know the layout of the floor and can tell you exactly what is there. Or just send them an email. I've done that in the past. Just send them an email, say, hey, do you have any top dollars? If so, what denomination do you have? That kind of thing. What versions are they? And you might get an email back saying, this is what we have. If you don't, probably not a good casino to go to because they're not very responsive.
Exactly. Very good question.
Yep.
Question here from Bull Run. The online slots definitely get tweaked and tightened on weekends, guaranteed. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. Online slot machines are not legally considered slot machines, period. If you're playing online, even in a regulated environment, even if you live in a state that has regulated online gambling and you're playing online slots, they are not slot machines. They do not act in the same way. They are not programmed the same way. All it is it is a visual. It is a slot style game. Again, everything in the casino is very legal. You have to remember that. Everything has a very, very legal definition. And a lot of companies and a lot of people don't realize that. Well, a lot of companies, take advantage of the fact that most people do not realize that. If you're playing a game online, it is not a slot machine anywhere, period. It's not. It's a slot style game that is defined by the law. So by the very definition, a slot machine is a standalone independent unit with its own random number generation system without outside influence. This is why in class 2 facilities that are bingo based, those are not slot machines. They are bingo terminals. In Washington state that runs off of the lottery system, those are called VLTs. They're video lottery terminals. So, and that's the same thing with online games. It might look like a slot machine. It might act like a slot machine. It is not a slot machine. Period. No matter how you spin it, it's not a slot machine. And companies take advantage of that because a lot of people believe that, oh, I'm playing Double Diamond online, it's going to be the low volatile, it's going to be the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's not a slot machine. We teach you guys on this channel here about slot machines. Anything outside of the scope of what a slot machine is, these don't apply. So when you're playing those online games, again, they can do whatever they want with them, especially if you're playing in an unregulated environment, which is why we don't ever recommend playing online. So just always remember that, guys. Just be very, very cautious when you are playing online. And as long as you realize that you're not playing a slot machine, you're playing a game that looks like a slot machine, then you'll be just fine.
Well said, Brantley. And Elfo 100 Doug Shaw says, on the Ainsworth must hit by progressive or fruit machines. I can tell you're from across the pond. They call them in England, they call them fruit machines. We call them slot machines here, but they're basically the same. Is there a set percentage the progressive goes up on the dollar denom? There's a bank of 4 machines at my local casino, and they seem to hit above 9,500. So 2 things there. One, there's not a set percentage, but usually I want to say, Brantley, that we watched this and tried to figure it out. I think for every $10 wagered, it goes up 1.5 cents. So 1.5 pennies basically is for the major that goes up every $10 bet. So very slow, very, very slow.
Right.
And the second thing is that the way it works is that the range is from 9,000 to 10,000. Whenever it hits, whatever that amount is, it resets back to 9,000, and a random number generator is going to pick where the next hit is going to be precisely. So it could be $9,345.11. You don't know that number. It knows that number, but once it gets to that number, it will pay you that and then reset back to 9,000 and do the same thing over again. And so it averages out around 9,500 because it's picking from 9,000 up to 10,000. We've seen some hit before 9,100 before. We've seen a lot of hit at 99.97, way at the top.
Yes, we have.
And we've seen some that hit in the middle. Brantley just talked about one that hit around 9,300, so it was relatively low. But you don't know what that number is, unfortunately. And we always say the only time to really chase that one is if it's way high. Like if it's in the 9,900 plus, that is a good time to sit down and play that machine. Because your chances are getting better and better the closer you're getting that top amount, right? So, that's the good time to play. If it just reset, don't play that game thinking you're going to get the major because it's probably unlikely and it's not a good time to chase either. But again, you never know. It's still kind of random when it comes to that.
You never know. But you are right to notice that it does hit around 95 because that's about the average. It's right in the middle. So, once it gets above 95, I usually will start playing it. Won't hit it hard. The only time I'll hit it hard is if it's like Mark said, 99, 98, something like that. Still great games to play. And $4.99 super sticker from Tina. Tina, thank you very much for that. We really do greatly appreciate it. And then also have a question here. Boo Boo's brother, when using your player's card, are they tracking money in and money out? Or time played? Should you use your player's card if you're only playing to kill some time? Good question. So it really depends. I mean, casinos track all different kinds of metrics with your player's card. Money in and money out is going to be the biggest one. Some will track time, others will not. But the money in and money out is always going to be calculated. Now, biggest reason why you should use your player's card is especially because right now is tax time. You don't have to be a high roller to get your win-loss statement. And if you gamble a lot, or if you've gambled a lot over the years, or over the year, you want to make sure to get your win-loss statement. And you want to make sure anytime you're doing taxes, anytime you're doing anything finance related, you want to make sure every penny is accounted for. So you want them to track your money in and money out because you want that information back at the end of the year. Because when it comes time to do your taxes, you can write off your losses. So, and again, we always recommend and we always say, always consult with a licensed tax professional when doing that. That's the best thing. I would always use your card. Now, some casinos, and unfortunately we don't have, like I said, Dave is traveling right now. He would be the best one to answer this one. But some casinos will ding you a little bit if you're just in there for like a brief time. You might get, some perks, your perks might be less on your next visit or something like that. But to me, I would always use your player's card. And like I said, unfortunately, Dave is not here today. He is in the air on his way to Vegas. So we will see him tomorrow. But he would be the great one to kind of talk more about.
And I remember what he's told me. And that is that it's all about your theoretical. It's about when it comes to computing comps, how much free play you get, how much rooms, all that types of rooms, all that. It's about your theoretical, which is how much you typically wager whenever you do go play slots. And so if you always play, say, $5 and $10 machines consistently, and they know that because you're using your player's card, if you suddenly go and start playing 80 cents on a penny machine, that is bringing your theoretical average down because of that big disparity there between the 80 cents and the $5 and $10. So if you are going to just kill time by playing something you normally wouldn't play, it's outside of your normal play style, I would not use your card because you're reducing your theo, and you don't want that. But it has to be pretty big difference. Like, we're not talking about the difference between $5 and $10. We're talking about $10.80. That's a big difference there. It's all about the averages. So
exactly.
And Michael has a follow-up question from earlier. Talking about the machine doesn't show where the must-hit buy is at. All right. Let me break this down just a little bit easier, guys. So there are two types of progressives. There are must-hit buy progressives, and there are just normal progressives that hit whenever they hit. Must-hit buy must say somewhere on the screen that it is a must-hit buy progressive number. It will say win by, must hit by, must win by, something like that. So you'll see a number up there, let's say 9,500, and then underneath it will say must hit by 10,000. If you don't see it up there and you're still wondering, go look at the game rules. If you still don't see it in there, it is not a must hit by progressive machine. The biggest difference between those two is that on must hit by, it will continue to grow until it reaches that predetermined number that the random number generator has already picked the moment that it reset. Once it hits that, it has to pay you. It will pay you that jackpot. Now, regular progressives, every spin is a completely separate chance of getting the progressive amount. So even if it's capped out, let's say it's one that's set at 10,000 and it's not going any further than that, every time you spin, you have an equal chance of hitting that progressive. They play out two different ways. And so it's very important that if you think it's a must hit buy, it must say somewhere on there. And the only advantage play that you have there is that if it's getting really close to that number, that is when I would put your butt in that chair and try to play as much as you can.
Don't get up and go to the bathroom.
That's right. Yeah, don't do that because somebody else will come in and scoop it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the two different types. And I just want to make sure that it's clear that, must hit buys must be labeled as such. The other progressives are completely random. They could hit back to back, right? Same exact spin, your spin off. You could hit it again.
Yeah.
But they play out differently.
Very well said, Mark. We do have we have a super sticker, a $10 super sticker from Richard. Richard, thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate it. And a super chat from Ryan for $1.99. How many cowboy hats do y'all have in total? Well, I've got a bunch back there on the wall. And then I have some on top of my slot machines over here as well. Maybe about 6 or 7 in total. And then Mark, what about you?
Oh God. Let's see, right in here right now, I have 7, 8. And I've got 3 in the garage and I've got 3 in storage.
Yeah.
It's bad, guys.
So and following up on that really quick, Linda K says, y'all need to have your own line of cowboy hats. Maybe in the future, Linda. You never know.
Really tough. You think shirts are tough?
Yeah, the shirts are really difficult as it is, but you never know. I mean, the channel could get much bigger, which, by the way, speaking of the channel getting bigger, this is a good time to mention that we are almost to 100,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone. And if you are watching this out there and you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe because that helps us out tremendously. Also, we have our giveaway going on right now. You do have to be a subscriber for the giveaway. All you have to do is share that top 50 video and then comment shared on that video. And you have a chance to be entered in for 3 different prizes that we're going to be drawing live on January 22nd during our live stream. And all of those rules can be found at ropethejackpot.com. And we have all of that information there on how to enter. So definitely check that out. But yes, please do subscribe. That helps us out tremendously.
And also don't forget to hit that notification bell, guys, because for the first time ever in Cowboy Slots history, we are probably going to go live at random events or random times in Vegas. And we want to make sure that you guys are able to jump in and enjoy the fun with us. So make sure you have that bell clicked so you can join in the fun.
And really quick, I want to pull this one up really quick from Lori Mack. When I first started following Cowboy Slots, there were only 4 followers. I'm so glad to see how much you continue to grow. Obviously, great info. Thank you very much for sticking around since the very beginning. Wow, that's
It's
incredible.
impressive. Number 4, huh?
Number
That's
4.
awesome.
Thank you very much for that.
And a couple questions here. So Christy has, hi guys, love you so much. What does it mean when the spinning stops harder than normal? Like it's rolling along same pace, then stops suddenly for a couple spins and back to pace. It's just because of where the actual reels are at the time. So whenever you hit that spin button or you pull the handle, it knows where each of the 3 reels, let's just use a 3-reel machine for example. It knows where each of those need to land, right? Sometimes it's actually the previous spin had it really close to where it already was, so it will spin and stop a lot quicker or seems a lot harder than it was before. So it's all about where it was previously and where it needs to end up on the next spin. So that's what you're noticing there. And then Larry has a good question here. If it's a penny machine, if you have the option to bet $5, are your odds increased on the payback? No, it's all about the base denomination. So the odds are set on the denomination itself, which in that case is a penny, which will probably, in fact, I could probably say confidently be the lowest payback percentage of all the machines in the casino. Pennies are always set at the lowest. So just because you're at a penny machine and it allows you to bet $25 does not mean your odds are better because you're able to bet $25. And that's why we try to get people to steer away from those. It's a trap.
If you're betting that amount on a penny machine or higher, it's best to just go to a denomination that you can bet the same on. Even if it's 1 credit, your odds are going to be
well set. Yeah,
tremendously better.
Nailed it. That's perfect. Yep, exactly.
We do have a couple super chats, super stickers, and then I'll pull up a question here. 99-cent super sticker from Leo. Leo, thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. And then a question here from Pat. This is a good one. When you're selecting your free games, for example, on Dancing Drums, is your win predetermined or does it matter which games you select? So no to both of those. Your win is not predetermined. Actually, no to that one. And does it matter which one you select? So here's what you're doing when you select that. So on Dancing Drums, it'll give you the option. You can either get less free spins with more ways to win or more free spins with less ways to win. What you are doing, and this is according to the actual manufacturer data in the marketing material that the manufacturers provide, what you are doing is that is putting you in the driver's seat of your volatility. You get to select the volatility range of the game. So obviously, the less free games with more ways to win is going to be a higher volatile bonus option. You're going to have less chances, but you're going to have a higher win, obviously, if you hit something. Whereas, if you select the 15 free games with less ways to win, that's a lower volatile option. So essentially, what you're doing with that is deciding how risky do you want to be. It's not changing your outcome or anything. Like the amount's not predetermined. It really all depends on how risky you want to be. Personally, for me on Dancing Drums, I always like to choose the 5. I like to be a little risky if I'm playing that game, which I don't play a lot. But that's essentially what you're doing with that bonus round. So I hope that helps you out a little bit on that. And we do have another $5 super chat from Brent. Brent, thank you very much. I'll be in Vegas in 1 week. In your opinion, what's the number 1 slot machine you suggest to play at a casino? Amount per spin doesn't matter. Mark, what do you think I'm going to say?
I should say pinball, and you should say top dollar.
Right.
No.
Pinball and top dollar.
Yeah, pinball and top dollar. I mean, those are our personal favorites. That's the one I would play. It's a lot of fun. If it doesn't matter how much per spin or whatever, and you want to have a good, exciting bonus round, either one of those is going to be a good bet. That's where we usually go beeline to as soon as we get into a casino, is looking for top dollar and pinball. So
yeah, exactly.
There's no hiding that. And speaking of top dollar, Christy Dalitz is playing top dollar right now. Awesome. Hope you're doing well. Oh, and shout out to Gulf Coast Slots, great YouTube channel, by the way. He messaged me, and he's in Las Vegas. He's actually at the Aria right now this weekend. And he's like, what should I play? And I told him, of course, 5-line, regular top dollar. And sure enough, he sent me a picture last night. The first machine he played was $5, 5-line double top dollar, and he got the double 7 for 320 credits. First hand pay he's had in Las Vegas. So I'm glad to see that. That is a good game to play. So hopefully you're playing one of those and not like Top Dollar Premium or something like that. So good luck out there.
Very, very good. Hey guys, really quick, I just want to plug this. We do have a lot of new people here in the chat today, which is awesome and great. A lot of new people. We have covered so many topics and questions this year. One of the videos that we came out with, which is our top video on our YouTube channel right now, it's the first video that you see, is the top 50 slot and casino myths. It's part of our share contest right now. So if you have not seen that video, please do go check it out. Noticing there's a lot of comments coming in, a lot of questions that are already answered in that video. And we do go into depth on those topics. So there is an index for that video as well. It's in the comments as well as the video description. So if you don't want to sit there and watch the whole video, that's fine. You can scroll through the index and see if your question's on there. And then you can hit the little timestamp and it'll take you right to the spot on that video. But please do, if you are new to our channel, go check out our other videos. We have done so many topics. We have already covered in previous videos, as well as the top 50 video, things like time of day, stopping the reels, all of that. It's all covered in that video. So please do go check it out. It's very informative, and also make sure to share it because it's part of our share contest.
And I guess it's my turn. Lucky 76 says, "What is your opinion on people banging on slot machines?" We covered this in the top 52. I can't stand it. Like, and guys, you got to understand that it's private property. If you damage a machine, they will make you pay for it, guaranteed. And machines are not getting cheaper. Some of those with the big curved displays, those displays alone cost 20 grand, and they will send you the bill for it if you put your fist through it. So don't do it. Go take out your aggression on a trash can or something. But don't, right. I mean, don't damage the machine. Don't beat them up. And like Rick James says, it is pointless. It means nothing in determining a win. It doesn't. It just makes people look bad. Yeah, it does make you look bad. And they might ask you to leave and attach a bill to the back of your shirt after you damage something. So don't do it.
Speaking of slot machines getting more and more expensive, Mr. Bob has a question. How can I buy a slot machine to use at home to practice? You certainly can. It all depends on your state. Every state is different and does have different rules and regulations. Luckily, we do have on our website, and guys, I can't say this enough, our website is chock full of information. We have frequently asked questions, casino guides, and also on that website, we have a buyer's guide. So if you are interested in purchasing a slot machine for your home, head on over to our website, click on the buyer's guide. We talk a little bit about it, some things that you should watch for. And then there is also an affiliate link on there to a trusted store that we partner with, Slot Machines Unlimited. They're one of the nation's largest retailers of slot machines. They do offer shipping. They do currently have pinball machines as well. And they are very, very good people with a massive amount of inventory, so they can help you find any machine that you want. So check that out. The link is on there. Their phone number is on there. It's all at ropethejackpot.com. And then just look for the slot machine buyer's guide on there. And that will go through everything on that. And we do have another $5 super chat from Paul. Paul, thank you very much. Hi, guys. Best wishes from Phoenix. I'm sure it's a lot warmer down there than it is up here. So thank you for that, Paul. We really do greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul. And Mr. Bob Newell says, are there germs on slot screen? I see people swiping the screen for good luck. This is why people come back from Vegas sick all the time. There's so many germs on those things. Don't wipe the screen. At least put gloves on first or something. I mean, we know that it's not making any difference, right? But yeah, slot machines have germs on them like you wouldn't believe. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, way too many germs on that. Good question here from Marty. Why doesn't a real tilt negate the bet? Is the outcome still the same after the machine is serviced? Yes, the outcome is still the same. So the reels are going to stop. Essentially, what a real tilt is, in a nutshell, is you've pushed the button. It's determined where the reels are supposed to stop. So that happens first. The first thing, when you push that button, it already knows where the reels are going to stop. So the reels spinning is actually the after effect of your bet. So the reels know exactly where they're going to go. And typically what happens with a reel tilt is reel 1 gets to its stop point, reel 2 gets to its stop point, and then one of the reels happens to miss its hit. And what that is, but basically that will send it into a reel tilt because that reel for some reason did not hit its mark. And then what happens is they come over, they'll open the door, they'll turn the key, and then when they shut the door again, the reels will go back to that exact same spot that it was supposed to stop at. So the outcome of the spin is still the exact same. It's still the exact same. It just needs basically a respin. It's kind of like, if the ball flies out of the thing at roulette, they need to respin it. But the outcome is still the same before that. So I hope that helps to answer your question. So it would not negate the bet by any means.
That's right. Yep. And 1967 Camaro versus the World says, I heard slots closer to the entrance or check-in desks were more likely to hit. No. I also heard 6:30 a.m. is the best time for big payout. That's also a no. Can slots be programmed time of day for better payout? No, they cannot. There is no setting inside of a slot machine that can decide when it's going to get, start paying out or not. There's also been talk of central servers that can control when slot machines can pay at certain times. That is also false. That is not how they're built. Slot machines, by definition, must be random. The logic unit is self-contained inside of the machine without any outside influence. That is, by definition, a slot machine. Central server would negate that. It would no longer be a slot machine. It could be a bingo-style machine. It could be a video lottery terminal, but it is not a slot machine. And for that same reason, they cannot be manipulated to pay out at certain times of the day or manipulated by the casino because they've been on a losing streak and they need to start collecting more money from the players. So they need to, adjust the payback and all that. That's not how they work. They are random. And so you should feel comfortable knowing that. That is how they are built. That's how they're licensed. And that's how the rules and regulations are there to protect against that not being the case. So we always recommend, again, playing. We personally both like slot machines instead of like bingo machines and video lottery terminals and that kind of stuff. Because of that, we like the random aspect of it. We want to know that it's not being manipulated by anything else. And so that's why we talk a lot about slot machines and how they operate here. So a very good question, but yeah, all that is false. It's a myth. That's just stuff that's been passed around for ages.
Very good. And I just want to add to that really quick. So, because we do have a lot of new people here on our channel. So I have worked inside the casino industry. All of these talks of there's a secret room in the back, or the server room, or anything like that. I have been in those rooms. Okay, I know exactly what's back there. This is the job that I used to do. Mark also has worked with slot machines for years. We still work with slot machines to this day. Not only that, but on this channel too, we interview experts, currently working in the casino. We do these things. There are a lot of people on the internet, guys. Again, this is why we always say, look at the source. There are a lot of people on the internet. There are some sites out there and some people that have good information. But the thing that makes Cowboy Slots different is we have been there. We've worked in the industry. We've been inside these machines. We've seen the programming. We've seen the manufacturer documents. These, super secret back rooms with servers. I've been inside of them. They're not that exciting. So when you hear other people talking about things like, the machines by the entrance or the time of day or stuff, ask yourself if that person has ever worked there, or ask yourself if that person has ever physically worked with slot machines and knows the programming. Chances are they have not, because if they did, they would know that that was false. So always remember, the internet is a great place. There's good information, but it also gives everybody a platform. So always trust, look at your source whenever you're getting information, especially when it deals with your money, guys. Be careful with your money. Please do.
And Rick James had a question earlier. To be able to claim win-loss, do you have to file a line item tax return, or does it not fall under the regular easy form? So again, we are not tax experts, so we always consult with the tax expert. But the only time claiming win or loss is beneficial to you is if you have enough wins and losses to far exceed the standard deductible that you get. And then you will start to deduct those losses and wins. If you hit one jackpot out of the year, it's not worth trying to deduct those, because your standard deduction is probably going to be higher. But again, consult with a tax expert. We don't want to steer anybody down the wrong path. There's a lot of rules around what you can do with gambling winnings and losses, but just make sure you check that out. But yeah, good question.
Very good question. All right. Let's see. Question here from Derek. In the history of your slots playing, after acquiring the knowledge you have about them and the high and low volatility, how much would you say you were up or down in your gambling wins or losses? Well, I could not give you an exact number because I really don't know the exact number. Obviously, after working in the casino industry and after working with slot machines, we do play a little bit different. And again, we never say that high volatility games are truly bad. It's just we want you guys to realize and know what you're getting into whenever you play those games. Now, I will say this, and we have said this on this channel many times. If you play a slot machine long enough, if you are in a casino long enough, inevitably you're going to lose your money. That's just how slot machines are designed. You cannot sit and play slot machines for years and years and years and not lose. I can tell you this. There's nobody out there that wins 100% of the time. There's not. And that's why, again, we always caution, if if anybody's ever promising that, oh, you're going to win 100% of the time, or, oh, I always win, that is false information. You cannot win all the time at slot machines. You can better your chances, and there are things that you can do to improve your chances when you're at the casino, which is what we teach you here. But and we cannot stress this enough, because we even say this in our other videos. Even if you implement all of those methods, there's still that chance that you're going to lose, because it's gambling. So always just remember that there's nobody out there that wins 100% of the time. There's always going to be wins and losses. So just keep that in mind. As for me personally, exact number in my lifetime, that I don't know. I couldn't really tell you. Probably, I have no idea. Mark, do you have any idea?
Definitely in the red. I don't, it's just the nature of these things. I think the only people that end up in the green are the people that have only gambled once in their life, and they put in $100 and won 200, and then they never gambled again. That's the only people that are in the green.
And also, guys, I just want to add to this too, with YouTube. Okay, because I know there are some people that say, oh, so and so wins all the time, or so and so wins all the time. Guys, it's YouTube. They're only going to post what they want you to see. So when you see somebody that, like if they only ever post like win, does not mean that they're winning all the time. That's just what they're posting. So just keep that in mind. We really can't stress that. I really didn't even think we had to say that. I mean, anything on the internet, folks, just approach it with caution. Always approach everything with caution. That's what we try to teach you here. So just always keep that in mind.
And the other thing, to just follow up, Derek, with your question is, I personally think the most important thing about everything that we teach on this channel is about controlling your budget. The only way that you are going to get out alive from a casino and not give it all back, like Brantley said, is by being able to stop yourself and walk away at certain times. That is probably the hardest thing for most people to get, because when you get into the casino and you get in that mode and everybody's having a good time and maybe you've hit a jackpot, it's really hard to hit that reset button on yourself and get you to stop playing and potentially putting all that money you just won back into the machines. And so, the people that end up doing better are listening to us, because we not only we talk about the volatility of the machines, but we talk about what to do once you do win. What to do with the money, which budget you should be bringing. If you do have a certain budget, what denominations you should be playing. All of those types of things are what are going to allow you to come out potentially ahead in the end. But if you go in there blindly, like so many people do inside of a casino, without any kind of knowledge or understanding of how slot machines work or which machines you should be going to play, they're the ones that don't end up ahead. And that's why we're trying to do what we're doing to get all of that information out so that you guys can be better off inside of the casino. And guys, casinos love us for this stuff. We're not going against anything that they say. They want people to have the right information, because they don't want these myths and rumors end up impacting their bottom line, because people are thinking certain things like, oh, you should never play at Aria because every time I go there I lose. That's a pretty general statement. Maybe you're not playing the right machines, or maybe you just were unlucky one night. And so casinos want people to have all of the best information too, and that's why we exist. So budget, picking the right machine, everything we talk about on this channel is all about that. We don't have any magical formula here, but what we do is tell you about things that you have full control over. Exactly. And there's not much, but there's enough.
Well said, Mark. And the biggest thing that we always try to stress is every single slot machine on that floor is designed in an entirely different manner. There are different machines out there that, achieve their goals different ways. So by identifying that, time of day doesn't matter, where the machines are at doesn't matter. All of that, none of that crap matters. The only thing that matters is the type of machine that you're playing. Play better machines. If you're playing a machine all the time and you seem to lose all the time and you're like, gosh, I just can't get ahead, it's probably the type of machine that you're playing. You're playing a machine that's too high volatile with a budget that's too low. That's why we always try to teach you guys, balance out the two. Find a machine in a range of volatility that fits your budget. If you can do that, you can better your overall chances at the casino. But even then, like we say, it is still a chance. It is gambling by definition. Nobody's going to win every time. So I hope that helps to answer your question, Derek. Sorry, we kind of went on a little story there.
Oh, that's okay.
It's very, very important. Very important.
It really is. It really is.
And thank you very much for that.
And Johnny says, Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year to you also. Question on penny machines. If you change the denomination, the progressive amounts change. Are they the same as the old school slots where each denomination is separate? Yes. So whenever you change denomination, again, we talk about this a lot. Think of yourself as getting up for that machine and going to another one that is set at that denomination that you're trying to change to. It is just like a different machine. They're just able to combine multiple denominations into one machine that has the same game theme to it. But when you do change denominations, yes, those progressive amounts will change. They will go up the more your denomination goes up. But your odds of hitting those progressives are pretty much the same. But again, just try to play the highest denomination you can that you're comfortable with and your budget allows in situations like that.
Exactly. And that actually kind of goes hand in hand. Ethan, I had your question queued up to be next. I see people changing denoms and amounts. Does that make a difference? The denom does. The denomination, again, like Mark just said, is programmed entirely separate. So each denomination is going to have, it's essentially a completely different machine whenever you switch denominations. And that goes whether it's new or old. It doesn't matter. If you're changing denominations, then it's essentially like getting up and walking to another machine. The bet amount does not make a difference unless the game specifically states that it does. So there are a couple games out there. Wicked Wheel is one of them, a game that I reviewed recently where it actually says in the game rules, the higher you bet, the higher chance you have of getting either a bonus more frequently. Now, as Mark has also mentioned, be cautious about that because it could only be a fraction of a percent. So always focus on playing within your budget first before you start making higher bets than you can afford. But as for your question, changing denominations does matter. Changing your bet amount does not matter unless the game specifies that it does. So very good question.
Yeah, very good. And Roy has a question. Each denom has their own RTP. So that's kind of another follow-up to what we were just saying. So just try to imagine it's different. It's a different complete game. Like it's you getting up and walking off to another one. And then let's see. Marcus has a question here. Does each individual reel have its own RNG? Yes. Well, there's one single RNG that is just constantly running when a machine is powered on. But as soon as you hit the spin button or pull the handle, it will stop and pick a random number for each of the reels that are in the machine. Doesn't matter if they're physical reels or virtual. It's the same thing. And then that will look up on a pay table to figure out what that random number lines up to. And then that's what delivers a result to you. So that's how it works in the simplest of terms that I can make it.
Very good. And question from Josh. I played a $10 Denom Double Diamond Deluxe machine with a $1,000 budget, but didn't seem to hit anything for my entire budget. Is this normal? Yes, unfortunately, it is normal. It is still a slot machine. Like we always teach on here. There are things that you can do to better your chances, but the key word in that sentence is chance. Everything, again, slot machines are a game of chance. They're not a game of skill, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, yeah, you didn't hit anything. That's normal for a slot machine. Now you could have also burned through your budget a lot quicker on a higher volatile game, or you could have hit something. You could have hit the 3 double diamonds right away. You just never know. That's the unfortunate thing about gambling. I wish there was a way to, guarantee a win every single time, but unfortunately there's not. And we've all had those days. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have all had those days. So we feel you on that.
And just
But
try
still,
to.
overall good game to play.
Yeah, here's the thing that that'll probably help you guys understand this a little bit better, and this is where you kind of get caught up in it a little bit. So you just had a pretty bad experience on Double Diamond Deluxe, which is a machine that we talk about a lot. You may go in next time and then decide I'm going to put my $1,000 into Dragon Link, and on the first spin you hit a hand pay. That in your mind is going to start telling you that that game, the Dragon Link, is actually the better one to play because that occurred and you lost your butt on the Double Diamond Deluxe. But you just got lucky. The coincidence of you being there at the right time and hitting that button is what occurred there. In the long run, Double Diamond Deluxe is still the better machine to play than the Dragon Link, even though you got lucky on that one spin. So just try to, it's a long-term play. That's what everything is, not short-term based. Like the way these machines are programmed to play out, and payback percentages and volatility and all this are long-term plays. And that's what we want to try to teach you. There will be short-term swings. There will be things that are not within expectations, like losing your entire budget on a Double Diamond Deluxe machine. It can happen. It can still happen. But what we're saying is, in the long run, that's still a better one to play if you put those side by side and you were to play them at the same amount of spins over a long period of time. The Deluxe, the Double Diamond, is always going to be the better one of those two. So just try to keep that in mind. Like Brantley said, it's all about the luck. It's about when you hit the button, and sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't.
Unfortunately, but well said, Mark.
Right.
I'm going to take 2 here. We have a super sticker, a $50 super sticker from Maria.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. We really do greatly appreciate that. Those super chats and super stickers are greatly helpful to the channel. So thank you very much. And we do have a question here. When playing with a Caesars Rewards credit card, it seems like I go on a losing streak after using comp and rewards. Are they making me pay for my free stuff before letting me win? The answer to your question is actually in your question. Seems is the key word there, guys. Again, base your casino visits off of fact. Your player's card has no control and no implications at all on the logic portion of the game. It can't. Slot machines are not built that way. It is not in the programming, anything like that. It all comes down to your luck when it comes to that. There have been people, and I mean, Stacy of Stacy's High Limit Slots can attest to this as well. There have been times that she's gone in with free play and she's hit jackpot after jackpot after jackpot after jackpot. It doesn't mean anything. With or without your card. If you're not playing with your card, you're really doing yourself a disservice. And if you're using free play, you need to use your card anyway to get that free play off of there. But no, they're not making you pay for your free stuff before letting you win or anything like that. The logic portion of the game is not has no effect when it comes to the player's card. And kind of a follow up on that, Mr. Bob has a question. Is there a person in the back room that determines the jackpot? The answer is no, there is not. It could not be a slot machine if it had outside influence. So, and again, we say that from knowing the programming, from working on these slot machines, from having worked in the casino. That is false information. And the problem with this false information is kind of like what Mark said too, is it really hinders your play. If you don't have the right information in your mind, it's going to hinder your play. If you walk into the casino with the mentality of, oh, it's 3 a.m. and I'm going to do this with my card and I have to win, so you dump a whole bunch of money into it. Well, you've just screwed yourself. Or if you tell yourself, oh, I can't go to the casinos on this day because I'm bound to lose, you're screwing yourself. So again, have the right information in your head. There is no person in the back room that determines jackpots whatsoever. That is entirely false information. And again, it's not how slot machines work by any stretch of means. I'm going to take one more. V for Vin Diesel says, technically a slot machine could never pay out something like the grand. It's just not probable. You are very, very wrong on that. Extremely wrong. And actually, the grand has been paid out, sometimes even back to back. There were days working at the casino that the grand got paid out multiple times. We have people in our chat right now that have won grand jackpots on slot machines. We see it all of the time. So that statement is extremely, extremely incorrect.
Depends on how big the grand is.
Right. Now, if it's obviously if it's megabucks, that's going to be almost impossible. That'll end up on the news.
Yeah, right.
Probable wise, you might be correct on that. It's
right.
probably not going to happen.
Right. And two things real quick. So Wayne says, we talk about must win by machines a lot. So where can you find these in Vegas? So yeah, Aria, for example, Aria does have a bunch. They are right outside the Players Club area. That's where they are all banked there. And then also I know New York has some. I think they're in the high limit room, but you can go in there and still play $1 or $5 on it. So they're not like super high limit. I know they had two Thunder Caches when I was in there. I'm not sure of others. This kind of a new game that I haven't really been looking and paying attention to until last year when Brantley got me hooked on it. And so since then I've been kind of eyeballing where those are. But yeah, Aria has a ton of them. And then Deborah has a good question. How do they change the odds with the central server? So let me lay this out for you guys here. So are the slot machines in a casino networked? Yes, they are. What can they do with that information? So they are networked for a lot of different reasons, but the one reason that they are not networked is to have any manipulation whatsoever with the logic portion of the machine without a human being present. Here's what I mean by that. They can track your Players Club information. They can track your coin in and coin out, which machines you're on. They can also check the counting of the machine, how well the machine is performing, coin in, coin out for everybody during the day or a certain time period. They can do that. The other thing that they can do is they can push what are called payloads to the machine. And what I mean by that is they can say, we want this machine to change game themes, or we want this machine to change payback percentage. But all it does is send the payload to the machine. An operator with the keys to the logic portion of the machine still has to be present to unlock the logic portion of the machine, put in a special USB key, and accept the payload that has been sent down to that machine. That process has not changed. They cannot do it on a whim without anybody being there to witness the change. That is the most important thing that you guys can understand or need to understand about these things. I can even show you on this S3000 that I have over here. It's a relatively new platform. They're filled all over the casinos right now, and I can show you the screen where the payloads actually come in and that you have to accept them. They do not automatically get configured on the machine. So it's very important that you guys understand that casinos cannot on a whim just start changing stuff on machines. They have to have the right people there. They have to have the paperwork filled out with the gaming commission. The gaming commission has to be present to physically eyeball and watch somebody put in the security key to accept that change. That is what happens. That's how they work. Okay.
Very well said, Mark.
Try to not think of it's very difficult, but try to remember that there is no central server that is deciding when machines are going to start paying out, and it's up to you to figure out where those machines are and what time to play. It's all BS. There's no way that happens. It's not regulated to be that way. So hopefully that helps you, Deborah, but that's how machines work, and that's how they currently work. 10 years from now, who knows? Maybe they will start to do some of that stuff. They have the technology to do it, but that does not mean, just because they have the technology to do it, does not mean that's what actually happens. And so you have to separate that. And that's what we're trying to tell you the best we can. So thank you, Deborah.
Very well said, Mark. And you know what? This comment goes hand in hand with that. And Miami Vice fanatic, I have to give you props for this because you have said this well, better than anybody else. And I think everybody needs to hear this comment. The odds favor the casino. They don't need to do tricks. The casino's not out to trick you. They don't need to put better machines by the door. They don't need to change odds for time of day. They don't need to do this because the buffet's open. They don't need to do tricks. Those slot machines are going to make money no matter what. And they make money over the long term and over that projection. You know, we've done a whole experiment. We've done a whole video on this, guys, where we try to explain this to you. It doesn't matter if the machine is 98% or 85%. There's a possibility that 85% can do better in the short term. Why does the casino need to waste the man hours to go through and change something a fraction of a percent because it's a weekend when it takes 10 million spins or 6 months to a year just for it to balance out to that point? It doesn't happen. So this is very well said, Miami Vice fanatic. Thank you very much for that. The casinos don't need to do tricks, guys. There are things that you can do to better your play. And those things are very simple. Pick better machines, watch your budget, and find something that match your budget to the proper volatility level of a game that you enjoy and get enjoyment out of. You follow those, then you're going to have a better experience at the casino. So thank you very much for that. And we do have a $9.99 super chat. Thank you very much for that. Thanks for all the great videos and advice. Going to Vancouver, Canada this weekend to see how the slots are in Canada. Hope they are RNG based. They are RNG based. Canada, the great thing about Canada is jackpots are not taxed there. So hit lots of jackpots, and best of luck to you. And thank you very much for that super chat.
No greedy government up there. For the IRS anyway. All right. Actually, Sammy in here said another follow-up here. Casinos make too much money. It's too risky for being crooked.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot too, guys. Like, people have always said, yeah, but I've heard of casinos like going in and monkeying with the payback percentages without the, gaming commission and all that. Just think about it, guys. The Gaming Commission has full control to retract a license from any casino at any time. Just think what that would do to a casino. It would destroy it. Even if it was a temporary hold where they said you have a week to stop this or retrain your staff or whatever the case is, the damage has already been done. The news would find out. They would say so-and-so casino was caught monkeying with the machines and the Gaming Commission came and busted them. Would you ever go to that casino again? No. At least I would hope not. But that is the reason why they keep everything on the up and up. Guys, we've seen the paperwork. We've seen what they actually have inside of each machine. They log everything because casinos are paranoid that they are not doing something on the up and up. They want to make sure everything is logged to the second on when something is done, so that if there's ever a question with the Gaming Commission, they can come in and prove this is what we did, this is the person that did it, this is the time that they did it, and here's why they did it. All that stuff is so heavily regulated that they can't afford to be crooked. They really can't. So you should feel comfortable walking into a licensed casino knowing that all that stuff is taking place. It makes for you to just have a better experience and a better time.
Exactly. Very
well
good.
Said, Sammy.
Question here from Ricky. Y'all guys, I would really like to get out of this losing streak. I think one of y'all answered my comment. I need to stick to the correct machines. I almost lost my whole budget. Yeah, guys, it's really a balancing act of trying to find a machine that is proper for your budget. Because a lot of people, and I think a big problem with this is now there's this large influx of videos coming on out there where people take, like $500 and they put it in $100 slot machine and they just happen to hit on like the first couple spins or whatever. Does that happen? Yes, but it is extremely rare. And a lot of times, that's not going to happen all the time. So what we try to teach you guys is what's going to be the best formula for you guys to use every single casino visit so that you can leave, with a profit, hopefully, or with a jackpot would be even better. But there is a right formula to do it. So that's why we say use the 1% rule when you look at your budget. So, if you bring $1,000 into the casino, do not let your budget exceed $10. If you're playing a $10 slot machine at 2 credits, you're playing $20. You're playing double double that amount. So, find a slot that's low in volatility that fits that budget and then build up. And as you get built up and as you build up your bankroll, then you can work your way up to higher volatile slots. And then, or if you have the money to just toss around and budget's no option, then go for those Dragon Links and Grands, if that's not an option for you, but just understand that those machines are going to have long periods of dead spins and the chances of you getting that are very low. So that's what we teach you guys here. So it really is all a matter of, it's a balancing act of finding a budget and a denomination and a volatile machine that fits, everything is cohesive. And that's what we teach you guys on this channel. So, definitely, watch some of our videos. We have so many videos. We have a whole learning series. It is an entire playlist on our channel. It's 7 episodes. They're short episodes, but they can help you out a lot. Watch all 7 of those episodes and then go try it at the casino. But just always know what you're getting into whenever you play those games. And that's why we talk a lot about volatility and, money management and stuff like that. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps you out, Ricky.
Well said. And 2, real quick, Jackpot Slot says, speaking of the IRS, do you know of any ideas concerning the Slot Act concerning jackpots? So this has been tossed around recently. We'll just have to wait and see how this goes. It's a relatively new bill, but that is to increase the jackpot from 1,200 to 5,000. It's been 1,200 for 30, 40 years. We've gone through multiple rounds of inflation since then. So it's about time that we get that changed. And then Deborah does have a follow-up question. Is there a gaming commission in India casinos? Yes, there is.
Yes.
It's not run by the state, but each tribe has their own gaming commission. And I want to give you guys just a quick example of how it's just as intense of compliance as it is with the state. Brantley and I, there's a video we did where Pinball came to the Shoshone Rose, and they invited us out to watch the entire process from start to finish of them putting those machines in their place, converting them, and everything else. And I got to tell you, there was a gaming commissioner sitting in a folding chair right in front of the IGT guy for 4 hours straight. And he didn't move. He didn't look away or anything. His eyes were focused on everything that the IGT guy was doing, all the way to putting the strips on and everything. They take it very seriously, not just state-run entities, but also gaming commissions for Indian casinos. They take it very seriously. They don't want people in there monkeying with stuff. And so, oversight is king. That is why Las Vegas was notorious for back in the mob days of just screwing everybody, because there was no compliance. There was nothing in place to protect you, the player. That exists now in tribal and outside of tribal. And so make sure you're going into those licensed casinos, number 1. And number 2, just feel comfortable that all of that oversight is there for you more than anything else. It's to make sure everybody's on the up and up.
Very, very good. So let's see here. From Matthew, you guys are awesome. Your tips and insights have been so helpful. Been consistently winning since I started following your channel. Sending thanks and praise from Toronto, Canada. Well, thank you very much, Matthew. We greatly appreciate that. And that really speaks volumes for this channel. Really quick, because obviously we've got a lot of new people that have joined the live stream recently. We are quickly approaching 100,000 subscribers. If you go through and you look at our channel, we started this channel in February of 2022. So we've been around for less than a year. There are channels on YouTube that have been around for 5, 6, 7 years and don't even have half of the subscribers that we do. So we have gained all those almost 100,000 people in less than a year. If you go through and you look at all of the comments and everything on all of those videos, the amount of people that have been winning and that this has been helping is astonishing. We actually had to recently stop doing testimonials on our website because we were too overwhelmed with them. We were getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds a day, and it is just, it's just me running the website, so it's very hard to keep up on. We love hearing about this. The amount of people that these tips have helped has been tremendous. That speaks volumes for our channel. And when you get these methods right, you will start winning more and more. It is never a guarantee. We are not here to sell a class. We do not sell classes. We do not sell courses. We do not sell things to meet up with us, anything like that. Nothing is for sale. All of our information is 100% totally free. It's free on our website. It's free on YouTube. It's free everywhere. And that speaks huge volumes for this channel, guys. So thank you very much for that. It means a lot to us. We really hope, the only thing that we ever ask is that you please do share our videos, share our information, help get us out there so that we can grow to 100,000 and beyond. So thank you very much. And thank you for the comment. I love this channel. We really do
Thank
appreciate
you, guys.
that. And I do want to take one question here from Mr. Bob. Is there a gaming commissioner on cruise ships? This is a good question. So we have talked about cruise ships on a couple of past videos. Cruise ships are different. They are governed by the nation that the ship itself is flagged out of. So even though, for example, Carnival is a U.S. based company, but they flag their ships out of the nation of Panama. So Panama is the one that controls those casinos. So I hope that helps. That is who governs cruise ship casinos, is the nation that the ship itself is flagged out of.
Very good. We'll take one more question and then we'll do some wrap up here. So
Yep.
guys, hang on because we got some announcements to go over. So Luigi says, when do you stop pumping a machine and move on to another when you're not winning? My mind tells me that if I keep feeding it, it will eventually pay. That I know your mind is telling you that. We've all been there. And even Brantley and I, when we know how these machines work, it's overpowering. Your mind can really play tricks on you. But it's very important that you remember one basic thing about slot machines. They are not due ever. They are not due to hit because of what has happened previously. You got to wipe that off of your mind. It's a random event. You either hit the button at the right moment or you don't. So if you find yourself in a position where you are just feeding a machine nonstop and you're getting to the point where you feel like you're chasing to try to get a bonus, cash out and walk on to another machine.
Or if you're not having fun.
Yeah, if you're not having fun, right. If you're not having fun, get up and walk off. Come back later, break that cycle. But just remember that it's never due. Machines are never due to pay. It's just not the way they work. I know It's hard. Believe me. I know it's hard.
Exactly. I'm going to put one more up on the screen and then we're going to do our final wrap up from St. Miles. Your channel is viral in Hawaii. Been listening to players in grocery stores. Wow. Well, thank you very much for that. And to all of you folks out there in Hawaii, Hawaii is one of 2 states that has no gambling whatsoever. There's Hawaii and Utah. So to everybody out there in Hawaii, a big thank you for tuning in. And like we always say, please do share our videos, tell your friends, tell your family, talk about us in the casino. Guys, we still have poker chips that are available on our website. We're actually starting to sell out of them pretty quickly. We have poker chips, we have wristbands, we have all of that. It's all available on our website at ropethejackpot.com. Those all do go to help out the channel. And all of those poker chips have a QR code on the back. All you have to do is hold your phone's camera up to it. It takes you right to the channel. So if you have a poker chip with you and you want to share the love and joy of Cowboy Slots, you can just have somebody scan that poker chip and it'll take you right there. Anyway, guys, we want to thank all of you for tuning into the Sunday show. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to let Mark do some wrap up comments here. And then we're going to close out today's show. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video if you have not done so already. Mark, you want to give some closing statements?
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time today. So remember, we are going to be in Las Vegas. I'm getting on a plane tomorrow, and Brantley is probably leaving earlier than he should to get to Las Vegas. And we will be there this coming week. And guys, I know Brantley's not going to be there as long, probably just for a day. But I should be there with Dave for the full week. And so we'll see you there. And remember, we have a meetup scheduled for 6 p.m. on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, at MGM Grand at the Cherries Jubilee slot machines. They're back outside of high limit unless they've moved them. If you can't find them, just ask a slot attendant to tell you where the Cherries Jubilee machines are, and they will point you there. We're going to all play them. They're dollar denomination. They don't cost a lot. Somebody's going to hit that top jackpot there. I'm almost sure of it with everybody playing there. So I hope to see you guys there. And again, thank you for all your support. We are so close to 100,000. We really appreciate it. Oh, one more thing, guys. Make sure you have the bell clicked. If you're not subscribed, do that first, but click that bell. Because for the first time, we're going to try to do some ad hoc live streams during the week while we're there. And if you don't have that bell clicked, you're not going to know what's there and you're going to miss out on the fun. So, guys, hope you have a wonderful week. We hope to see you in Las Vegas if you end up being there. And Brantley, good show.
Yes, excellent. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really do greatly appreciate it. Our next live stream is going to take place on Sunday. That's at 7 p.m. Central each and every Sunday. Our Wednesday shows are 1 p.m. Central every single Sunday. So our next live stream will be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. We hope to see you guys all there. And if you are out in Vegas when we are there, come by MGM Grand on Tuesday the 10th at 6 p.m. We'll be at the Cherries Jubilee playing some games there. You're welcome to join us. As always, guys, thank you so much for attending today. We do greatly appreciate it. As always, stay safe. Best of luck, and we'll see you again next episode.